Hello and welcome to Center for Victory's podcast of Your Best Day Yet. I'm Eric Guy, Chief Victory Officer here at the Center for Victory, where we're here to help unlock, reinforce, and enrich relationships through personal and professional development. Today I have with me a very special guest, Jack Karson, infamous Jack in the Box from Westminster College. Everybody knows him, so at least in New Wilmington, Pennsylvania. But college student, social influencer, welcome aboard, Jack.
Thanks, Eric. That's very generous introduction. Infamous, I think, might be the right word. But if everyone knows you in New Wilmington, population's not the biggest. So, I'll take that for what it is. But thanks for having me.
Yeah, and this month is part of June. Our topic of the month is really about getting connected. Very important topic as we go through the crisis with COVID and how people connect with one another, and had some questions for you, and maybe you can share some insights for all our CFV fans who are watching or listening to this. So Jack, much like myself, you are a highly extroverted person, right?
Yeah, you nailed it.
You like to be around people. You like that socialization that gets you going. How has the current crisis affected you personally?
Yeah, Eric, I mean, like you said, I'm a super extroverted person. There's no doubt about that. A lot of people say they teeter on the line, and nope, I'm completely extroverted. So, I'm dealing with it the same way a lot of people are. It was a complete shock at the beginning. I think as predictable as it seems in hindsight, we really should have seen all this coming. It did sneak up on us. So a lot of it was just, anger at first. I think that this was all going on, and then just wondering, what am I going to do? But overall, it's just been, it's been a big period of adjustment. Whether I like it or not, I have to adjust in a social sense. And so I think I've done that a little bit. But what I've been doing to deal with it, it's stuff like this, just stuff like FaceTime and Zoom with my friends, the same things that pretty much everybody's been doing. But even more than that, just because I know, very aware of how extroverted I am, trying to not be so reliant on social interaction all of the time, and trying to be a little more comfortable with just myself.
Now, what does that do when you're a little bit more comfortable with yourself?
I mean, it's tough, and I'm not there yet, I'm not there yet. I was taking a walk around the lake. I'm fortunate to live here by Westminster's campus, so I'll go on a walk around campus, and it was such a nice day, and I was like, man, I'm all by myself. I had to FaceTime some friends just on a walk. So it's tough to just be by myself in times like that, but B, work by myself. I think that's the toughest thing. But adjusting, it's definitely helped, and I'm hoping that translates when we get back to normal life a little bit. I have taught myself through, virtual classes, and through my remote work that I'm still doing over at the college as a student employee. I've taught myself some means of keeping myself disciplined that I hope translate back. So overall, I think I'm prouder of my adjustment than I thought I would be. I thought this was going to be the apocalypse when it started, and I'm still here. I'm still doing okay. So,
yeah, I think it's a big thing for people to hear that, we're all going through this together, and, it's kind of normal, especially for some of us that need that social interaction quite often, to feel kind of some of the feelings that you were feeling and have gone through, that we've all felt. That's kind of normal for us. And I think some people, just say, well, I'm falling apart, but really it's just you've lost that little segment of what you're used to and what you're ingrained in and what gets you going. Because being around people, especially like you and I mean, being around people, that alleviates some stress. And when we don't have that can cause some internal stress for us. And it's well needed when we get to connect with people and share those times and talk, right? Definitely need to talk, which goes into my next question for you. Going through a situation like this, did you have an aha moment when you really realized your need for that in-person connection?
Well, lucky for me, and don't take this as a cheap plug for you guys, but I took the PI, so I was aware of it. I don't mean to, plug the PI too much, but seriously, that did make me aware that I'm a person that just needs social interaction, for better or for worse. But I kind of did have that. I don't know if it was as much of an aha moment as like an oh crap moment when Westminster first said you guys aren't coming back to campus, at least for a little bit. It wasn't when they canceled the whole semester. It was just when they said breaks extended, you're going to be online for a little bit. I thought, what am I going to do? I was just on a social high before spring break. I got a little time to rejuvenate, but I was like, I'm ready to go back. Break's been too long. And then they hit us with that. Just, I say out of the blue, even though it really wasn't. But that was my aha, oh crap moment of what am I going to do? And kind of, I went through about a day there of just, frustration and just, I couldn't believe it. Didn't know what I was going to do. But after that, it started to settle in, started to make plans on how to make the best of it, how to embrace the situation. So by the time that they made the announcement to cancel the whole semester, I wouldn't say I was numb to it, but, it was more of an acceptance at that point. So, I mean, there have been aha moments throughout this whole thing. It changes every day. So, you got to stay on your toes.
Yeah, I think the big thing is to really accept that that's, I like the fact that you call it an oh crap moment, but we really need that. I mean, there's certain people that need time to be alone, to think, and there's others of us that need time to really be around people. And, I know we had the chance lately to connect in a social distancing manner. And that was a lot of fun, even though there were a bunch of well, not a bunch, there were just a few. So we did the social distancing thing not too long ago, a few days ago. But that felt like a relief to get together and talk and do those things. And I think we all need that. And I know that was probably important for you. I think I heard you say something very similar to that. But even for myself, being around just a few people, even if you guys were a lot younger than I am, it really rejuvenated me and got me going and made me feel a little bit better.
Yeah, no, that was huge, especially for me being an extroverted person. And you kind of walk that line when you're trying to start to see people in social distance and trying to assess what's okay and what's not in this time. It feels sometimes like if you feel guilty for seeing people, but at the same time, you need it and it's good to see people. Um, and so, as our PA counties are moving from red to yellow to green, we're seeing a lot of different people change their philosophies on what they should be doing socially, myself included. So I am here and there, I'll see people. And you know what? I'm guilty too. If I'm in a small group, sometimes we'll say, do we all really want to be wearing masks right now? And I'll be honest with you, yeah, that's kind of selfish. And it assessing risk, I think, comes down at this point as we're moving into these different phases to an individual level. So my philosophy is my philosophy on it, and I guess my advice to people is, do what you do, but be respectful of what everybody else wants to do. So if you and I want to, hang out in social distance and see each other in person, because it's just not the same here as it would be in person, that's cool. But if someone else declines, you got to respect that.
Yeah. We're always preaching, and our company Center for Victory is really founded on relationships, and we're all hardwired. Doesn't matter how you're wired, introverted, extroverted, detailed, not detailed. It doesn't matter. We're all hardwired. We're made to connect. And with that in mind, the next question for you is, who for you specifically is really important to stay connected to during a time like this?
Yeah, I mean, the obvious ones are your friends and your family, but I think the more important answer to that question that a lot of people overlook are those people that you don't see every day when the world is normal. So those people that, if I'm talking in a college student sense, the people that you see in the dining hall every day, and maybe you say hi to them and then you walk by, or you have a short conversation with these people, but they're not a constant in your life. In a family sense, that maybe that's your grandparents, your aunts, your uncles that you see here and there, but now we can't see them at all. And I think those are the ones we take for granted, because our closest friends, for the most part, I'm speaking for a lot of people, but I mean, I've been keeping in contact with my close friends every single day. So there's been no rift there at all. But with those people that are just, right on the outside of being a close friend that I see here and there, but I still really value those relationships. I mean, those are the most important and the most fulfilling when I do get to talk to those people virtually or whatever it is. It just reminds me that, those people are out there too. So I'd say, stay connected with those that you wouldn't be completely, tight knit with in a normal world.
Yeah, that's good. And is there anything you hit on this already? But is there anything else? Knowing all this, going through all this, are there things that you're doing to be more intentional about and learning about during this time to be more intentional about doing that? Like for this instance, that you just said, connecting with people that you might not see all the time. Is there anything else that you're being more intentional about?
Yeah, I mean, it's, like we said earlier, stuff like this. So making sure to keep up with your FaceTimes and your Zooms. It's sometimes can get a little bit old, but I think it's so important to stay connected because you can find yourself lonely pretty fast. But one thing that I haven't done personally, but I should, and I think is a really great piece of advice. Our Dean of Student Affairs at Westminster, Gina Vance, had this advice for the students was to write letters to people and send people letters in the mail. I thought that was a cool piece of advice that I just hadn't thought of. That's such a different way for us to stay connected that we would have never done if there was no pandemic going on. But I mean, what a cool thing to write someone a handwritten note in a time like this. It's a conversation almost that you would have in person that you would never have over FaceTime. So keeping a little bit of an intimate relationship with your close friends and family by writing letters that you wouldn't really do on FaceTime.
Very good. Any other tips or suggestions that you have for folks listening and watching?
Yeah, I mean, the thing that I think bugs me the most about this whole thing is just how polarizing it is. No matter where you fall, it's a polarizing thing, like so many things are today. And so, no matter what side of an argument you're on, whether it's COVID or something else, don't listen more than you shout. Is my philosophy and my advice. If you're not well informed on something, then don't shout about it. And the thing about this COVID-19 outbreak is it's the novel coronavirus. It's called novel because we don't know about it yet. So you can't be too confident, spewing out facts on social media about what people should or shouldn't do. Best you can do is follow the guidelines and most of all respect others, what they want to do. And again, just listen to the people who know more than you because right now, pretty much everybody knows more than me about this thing. So just do your best and listen.
Yeah, good suggestions. Any favorite quote, motto, anything you like to say all the time that would be helpful as we end this today?
Yeah, I don't know if this is too pertaining to COVID-19 or anything, but when I saw you wanted a favorite quote, light bulb. I have one favorite quote. If you're friends with me, I bug you all the time about the show The West Wing. My favorite show. I don't shut up about it. And if you're my friends with me, you want me to shut up about it all the time. But there's an episode where the chief of staff, Leo McGarry, sends Josh Lyman, his deputy, to therapy. He's dealing with PTSD after being a shooting victim. And he comes out, Josh is like, you didn't have to do that for me. And Leo, the guy that sent him to therapy, he tells him, and I'm going to try to get this right. It's less of a quote, more of a modern parable, if you will. He says, a guy's walking down the street and he falls into a hole. The walls are so steep and he can't get out. All of a sudden, a doctor walks by. The guy shouts up, hey, I'm stuck in here. Could you help me out? The doctor writes out a prescription, throws it down in the hole, and he moves on with his day, right? Then a priest comes by. Father, can you help me out? I'm stuck down here. The priest writes out a prayer and throws it in the hole. Then a friend walks by. Joe, it's me. I'm stuck down here. Could you help me out? The friend jumps in the hole. Now our guy says, are you stupid? We're both down here. Now the friend says, yeah, but I've been down here before and I know the way out. I don't know how much that helps with COVID, but that's something I always love to remember about, how to just support others. And in a time like this, people are going through it, whether it's mental health, physical health, whatever it is. Sometimes people are falling into holes that we've been in ourselves. So if you can jump into the hole with someone or you can ask someone to jump into the hole with you, swallow your pride and do that and be a good friend.
very, very good advice, especially for the topic this month. That was absolutely great. That's all for today, folks. Thanks for watching. Please make sure you leave this video a like, leave a comment down in the section, comment below as well. We'd also appreciate it if you'd hit the subscribe button as well as the bell icon so you can get notified when we post next. If you'd like more information, you can visit us at centerforvictory.com. And just remember, wherever you're at, whatever you're doing, make this your best day yet. See you later.
That's a wrap. Cut.